What about verbiage? Because it changes no matter where you go. I mean, how challenging or easy is this with Tim Lester?
Yeah, football is football, like you said. All the teams run basically the same concepts, just called different words. So it's been, there's always a challenge with it, kind of trying to connect the words to different concepts. But once you get a hold of it, then you're good to go.
How much running, quarterback running, is in this offense, and how does it differ much from what you experienced at Northwestern?
Yeah, obviously Northwestern, I ran the ball a decent amount. I'm not sure how much they have planned for this offense. It's not really a conversation I've had yet, but excited to use all my skill set in this offense.
Thank you.
What time do you typically get?
Usually in a typical day, probably around 5:30.
And what do you, like, you get at 5:30, then what do you do?
Yeah, I go through, I have to get my Bible study in, read my book, get right with God, and then watch some film for an hour, and then go through my whole stretch routine. I'm getting older, so you got to get right with the body, or else, the best ability is availability. So
You mentioned your dad. He's a high school coach, is that right?
Yeah, he was my high school coach.
Okay. And is he still coach?
Yep,
as
he
well?
does. Yes, sir.
What influence has he kind of had on your life and career?
Yeah, it's hard to put the words. That guy's the one that I've looked up to since I was a little kid. He played football in Michigan, so he's kind of helped me with this whole process of college football and got me ready for it. So definitely my biggest inspiration.
How much has faith played kind of a role in your life?
The biggest. I became, a man of God around a year ago today, and got baptized, and it was the best decision I've ever made. And it's been, just transformed my life, and so I continue to spread the word of God, and try to help everybody else with that too.
Can you go through the process that brought you to Iowa, going in the portal and everything, and what was that like for you?
Yeah, the portal is kind of a crazy process, but happens fast. So as soon as I got on the phone with Iowa and got to visit here, I knew as soon as I stepped my feet on here, I was going to be an Iowa Hawkeye. So it kind of happened pretty quick.
So when you got here for the visit, just what was that whole experience like? What were some of the things you did and things that kind of stood out here?
Yeah, so I was COVID year out of high school, so I never got to experience official visits or anything like that. So it was kind of a whole new world for me, but it was pretty cool. There's hospitality here, the way they take football so seriously here is unmatched. So it was a pretty fun experience.
I know. When you entered the portal, did you think that Iowa would be a potential destination, or how quickly after you entered did they reach out?
Yeah, they weren't necessarily the first school to reach out. I had no idea, no expectations in entering the portal. I just wanted to go to a place where I felt like was home and I felt like fit my personality the best. And once they reached out, I did some thought, did some prayer, talked to my family, and this was definitely the best option.
I know Coach Lester recruited you out of high school. How integral was he in bringing you in and making you a Hawkeye?
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily that connection was the main reason that I came here, but just knowing from knowing him in the past that he's a great human being and a great coach definitely helped.
With just learning from your dad growing up, did you just have any favorite memories of him teaching you something or learning from him or anything?
Yeah, he was an old lineman, so just hearing stories from him playing ball. But funny thing he would always do was would always have a single digit growing up, single digit on my jersey. He would always tell me I gotta add one to it because I'm gonna gain some weight like he did, but that never turned out. So he's always been there, just giving me advice and everything like that.
Speaking of high school, Brett Metcalf's a big name around here out of Davison. Is he still kind of a legend up in those parts?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Wrestling's a fun sport to watch at Davison. We have a lot of good guys that have gone on to play or wrestle in college, and yeah, he's definitely a legend where I'm from.
How's the competition with Cade? What's your relationship like so far with him?
Yeah, Cade's a great guy. A lot of experience, a lot of things to learn from him. So you're just trying to pick his brain and gain knowledge from him and grow as a player as well. He's invited competition. He's invited me into the room. He's been nothing but an amazing person.
What's kind of your mindset coming here? You got 2 years left, right? 2 years left. You're kind of thinking, I want the job now, or are you taking kind of a patient approach, thinking maybe next year is your time?
Yeah, I'm someone that invites competition at all times. So I'm going to play my best football and play my best, put my best foot forward no matter what. Obviously, the main goal, the big goal is to play in the NFL, and so however that shapes out to do that is however that shapes out to do that. I'm willing to accept whatever role that I'm put into as I've shown throughout my career.
Where would you say you are in terms of learning the offense this far?
Yeah, I say I'm getting there. It's definitely a different offense, different words, but I like my process that I've had so far.
How's it different from what you did in Northwestern?
Every offense just has different words. A lot of people run the same concepts. Football is football at the end of the day, but just trying to get the different verbiage down is probably the most difficult part.
obviously it was a tough situation with Pat, going into your last year at Northwestern. Just what was it like kind of having to deal with that and then jump right into playing through?
Yeah, Coach Fitz is someone I respect tremendously. I still keep in contact with him to this day, so I love that family. It was tough, seeing a man like that go through with the things he went through, and it was hard, but we had to come together as a team for that year and had a decent year.
Quite a bit